A single father throws himself in front of a bullet to save a millionaire's daughter gasping for air on the sidewalk. As she fights to breathe, he bleeds out beside her. What happens next will shatter your heart into pieces and restore your faith in humanity forever. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Rain hammered against the cracked window of Marcus Webb's small apartment. He sat at the kitchen table, staring at the pile of unpaid bills scattered before him. His daughter Lily slept in the next room, her soft breathing the only sound that gave him peace these days. Marcus was 32 but looked older. Life had carved lines into his face that shouldn't have been there yet. 3 years ago, his wife Sarah died in a car accident, leaving him alone with their 5-year-old daughter. Since then, every day had been a battle to survive. He worked as a security guard at Sterling Tower, a glass monument to wealth in downtown Chicago. The building housed dozens of millionaires and their businesses, people who lived in a world Marcus could barely imagine. His salary barely covered rent and groceries, but he never complained. Lily deserved better, and he would give her everything he could, even if it meant working double shifts and surviving on coffee and determination. That Tuesday started like any other. Marcus dropped Lily at school, kissed her forehead, and promised to pick her up at 3. She smiled that gap-toothed smile that made his heart full, and he watched her run through the school gates before heading to work. The morning passed slowly. Marcus stood at his post in the lobby, nodding at the wealthy people who walked past him like he was invisible. He didn't mind. Invisibility was part of the job. Then she arrived. Victoria Sterling was 28 years old and owned half the building. Her father had built the Sterling Empire, and when he died 2 years ago, she inherited everything. People said she was brilliant, ruthless, and cold. Marcus had seen her many times but never spoken to her. She lived in a world so far above his that they might as well have been on different planets. That afternoon, Victoria stepped out of her private elevator, talking rapidly on her phone. She wore a navy blue suit that probably cost more than Marcus made in 6 months. Her dark hair was pulled back, and her eyes were sharp and focused. Marcus noticed them immediately. 2 men in black jackets stood near the entrance, watching Victoria with predatory eyes. Something about their posture made alarm bells ring in his head. He had learned to trust his instincts on the streets before becoming a guard. Victoria walked toward the exit, still absorbed in her phone call. The 2 men moved closer. Marcus stepped forward. "Ms. Sterling, wait." She ignored him, pushing through the glass doors into the street. The men followed. Marcus ran after them, his heart pounding. Outside, the afternoon sun was bright, and the sidewalk was crowded with people. Victoria stood at the curb, still on her phone, waiting for her car. The 2 men approached from different angles. Marcus saw the gun before anyone else did. It appeared in the taller man's hand, rising toward Victoria's back. Time slowed down. Marcus didn't think. He lunged forward, throwing himself between Victoria and the gunman. The shot rang out like thunder, and Marcus felt fire explode in his chest. He crashed into Victoria, knocking her to the ground as a second shot whistled over their heads. People screamed. The gunman ran. Marcus lay on the concrete, blood spreading across his uniform. Victoria scrambled to her knees, her phone shattered on the ground. She stared at Marcus in shock. You saved me." Marcus tried to speak, but his lungs wouldn't work right. He thought of Lily. Who would pick her up from school? Who would tuck her in tonight? Who would tell her he loved her? "Don't move," Victoria said, her voice shaking. "Help is coming." The world started to fade. The last thing Marcus saw before darkness took him was Victoria's face, tears streaming down her cheeks, and he thought how strange it was to see a millionaire cry. Marcus woke up 3 days later. The first thing he felt was pain, sharp and deep in his chest. The second thing he heard was crying. Small, heartbroken sobs that made his heart crack. Lily, he whispered. His daughter's head snapped up from where she sat beside his hospital bed. Her eyes were red and swollen. Daddy. She tried to climb onto the bed, but gentle hands held her back. Marcus turned his head and saw Victoria Sterling standing in the corner of the room. She looked different than she had in the lobby. Her expensive suit was gone, replaced by simple jeans and a sweater. Her hair hung loose around her shoulders, and her face was pale. "Easy, sweetheart," Victoria said softly to Lily. "Your daddy needs to rest." A nurse rushed in, checking his vitals and adjusting his four. "Mr. Webb, you're very lucky. The bullet missed your heart by 2 inches. You lost a lot of blood, but you're going to be okay." "How long?" Marcus asked. 3 days. You've been unconscious for 3 days. Marcus looked at Lily, who was clutching his hand like she would never let go. "Who's been taking care of her?" "I have," Victoria said quietly. Marcus stared at her in confusion. "You? Your daughter was at school when you were shot. The police couldn't find any family members, and she was terrified. I couldn't let her go into the system, not after what you did for me. So I brought her here, and I've been staying with her." Marcus tried to process this. Victoria Sterling, one of the richest women in Chicago, had been babysitting his daughter for 3 days. "I tried to make her comfortable," Victoria continued, her voice uncertain. "We've been sleeping in the waiting room. The nurses have been very kind." "Why?" Marcus asked. "Why what? Why would you do that? You don't know us." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "Because you took a bullet for me, because you almost died saving my life. Because when I asked Lily about you, she told me you were the best daddy in the world, and I couldn't let that little girl suffer alone when you were here because of me." Marcus felt his own tears coming. "Thank you." Over the next 2 weeks, Marcus slowly healed. Victoria visited every day, always bringing Lily with her. The little girl had bonded with Victoria in a way that surprised everyone, especially Victoria herself. One afternoon, while Lily napped in the chair, Victoria sat beside Marcus's bed. "The police caught the men who shot you," she said. "They were hired by Richard Blackwell. Do you know that name?" Marcus shook his head. "He's a business rival. He's been trying to take over my company for years. When legal methods failed, he decided to remove me permanently." Victoria's voice was ice cold. "He's going to prison for a very long time." "Good," Marcus said. Victoria looked at her hands. "I've spent my whole life building walls around myself. After my father died, I trusted no one. I focused only on business, on winning, on staying ahead. I forgot what it meant to be human." She looked up at him. "You reminded me. I just did what anyone would do." "No. Most people would have looked away. You risked everything for a stranger. You have a daughter who needs you, and you still put yourself between me and that bullet." Her voice broke. "Why?" Marcus thought about it. "Because it was the right thing to do. Because no matter how little I have, I still have my values. My wife Sarah taught me that. She said the measure of a person isn't what they have but what they do when it matters." Victoria wiped her eyes. "Your wife was a wise woman. She was everything." "I want to help you," Victoria said suddenly. "Please let me help you. I know you've been struggling. I saw the eviction notice that fell out of your wallet. I know you've been working double shifts and still can't make ends meet. Let me fix that." Marcus shook his head. "I don't want charity. It's not charity. It's gratitude. It's me trying to repay an impossible debt. You don't owe me anything. I owe you my life." They sat in silence for a moment. Finally, Marcus spoke. "I'll accept help on one condition. I work for it. Give me a job, a real job, not just pity." Let me earn whatever you give me. Victoria smiled for the first time. Deal. 3 months later, Marcus stood in his new office. It was small but clean, with a window that looked out over the city. He was now the head of security for Sterling Tower, with a salary that made his old pay look like pocket change. Victoria had kept her word. She had also paid off his debts, moved him and Lily into a better apartment, and set up a college fund for Lily. But true to his request, Marcus worked hard for every penny. He reorganized the entire security system, hired better guards, and turned the building into one of the safest in Chicago. Lily was thriving too. She attended a better school now, where she made friends and joined the art club. But the biggest change was her relationship with Victoria. The millionaire visited them often, joining them for dinner, helping Lily with homework, and even attending her school plays. Victoria, who had spent years building walls, had somehow let a single father and his daughter walk right through them. One evening, Marcus invited Victoria to dinner at their apartment. He cooked spaghetti, Lily's favorite, and they sat around the small table like a family. "I have news," Victoria announced. "I'm starting a foundation. It's going to help single parents who are struggling, just like Marcus was. We'll provide financial support, job training, childcare assistance, everything they need to build a better life." Lily clapped her hands. "That's amazing." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Why?" Victoria looked at him. "Because you showed me that the richest people in the world aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones with the most heart. I want to help others like you, people who sacrifice everything for their children, who work themselves to exhaustion, who never give up even when the world pushes them down." "What will you call it?" Marcus asked. "The Sarah Webb Foundation, after your wife. She taught you values, and you taught me. It seems right to honor her." Marcus couldn't speak. Tears rolled down his face. Lily climbed into his lap and hugged him tight. "Is it okay?" Victoria asked softly. "I should have asked first." "It's perfect," Marcus whispered. She would have loved it. That night, after Lily went to bed, Marcus and Victoria sat on the small balcony, looking at the city lights. "Can I tell you something?" Victoria said. "Anything." "I was planning to give up. The day you saved me, I was planning to sell everything and disappear. Blackwell's threats, the constant pressure, the loneliness, it was too much. I was tired of fighting, tired of being alone, tired of living in a world where everyone wanted something from me." She paused, wiping her eyes. "Then you stepped in front of that bullet. A man who had every reason to ignore me, who was struggling to survive, who had his own problems, you still chose to save me. You reminded me that life is worth living, that there are still good people in the world, that sacrifice and love still mean something." Marcus took her hand. "You saved me too." "How?" "You gave me hope. You showed Lily and me that kindness exists, that people can change, that walls can come down. You didn't have to help us, but you did. You didn't have to care about Lily, but you did. You've become family to us." Victoria squeezed his hand. "Is that okay? I know I can never replace Sarah. Sarah would have liked you. She always said that money doesn't make people bad, it just reveals who they already are. You're a good person, Victoria. You always were. You just forgot for a while." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the city breathe below them. 6 months passed. The Sarah Webb Foundation grew rapidly, helping hundreds of families across Chicago. Marcus and Victoria worked side by side, building something beautiful from the ashes of that terrible day. Lily called Victoria Auntie V now, and Victoria loved it. She had never imagined herself as maternal, but something about Lily's innocent love had cracked open a part of her heart she didn't know existed. Then the letters started arriving. The first one came to Marcus's office. It was simple, printed words on white paper: "You took something from me. I'll take something from you." Marcus showed it to Victoria immediately. Her face went white. "It's Blackwell," she said. "It has to be. He's supposed to be in prison, but his trial keeps getting delayed. His lawyers are expensive and good. Should we call the police?" "Yes. But they can't do much about threats. We need proof." The second letter arrived 3 days later, this time at Lily's school. "The girl is pretty. It would be a shame if something happened to her." Marcus felt ice flood his veins. Not Lily. Anyone but Lily. He immediately pulled her from school and hired 2 bodyguards to stay with her at all times. Victoria moved them into a secure apartment in Sterling Tower, where Marcus could keep her close. Lily didn't understand why everything changed so suddenly, but she could feel her father's fear. She became quiet and clingy, shadows appearing under her young eyes. "This is my fault," Victoria said one night after Lily finally fell asleep. "Blackwell is targeting you because of me." "No," Marcus said firmly. "This is Blackwell's fault. He's a coward who hides behind threats. We won't let him win." But the threats escalated. Photos of Lily at the park appeared in Marcus's mailbox. Messages described their daily routines in disturbing detail. Someone was watching them, following them, waiting. The police increased patrols, but they couldn't be everywhere. Marcus barely slept, jumping at every sound, checking on Lily every few minutes. He was coming apart at the seams, and Victoria could see it. "Let me help," she pleaded. "Let me move you somewhere safe, somewhere Blackwell can't find you. Running won't solve this. He'll just follow us. We need to end this." Victoria made a decision. She contacted Blackwell directly, arranging a meeting in a public place with police nearby. If he wanted her, she would give him a target, but not Lily, never Lily. Marcus refused to let her go alone. They met Blackwell in a restaurant, surrounded by undercover officers. The man was everything Marcus expected: cold eyes, expensive suit, and a smile that held no warmth. "Miss Sterling," Blackwell said smoothly. "How nice to see you again." "Stop threatening my family," Victoria said coldly. "Your family? How touching. The Ice Queen has found a heart." He looked at Marcus. "And you, the heroic security guard. Tell me, was it worth it? Was saving her worth putting your daughter in danger?" Marcus leaned forward. "Leave my daughter out of this. Your problem is with Victoria, not with an innocent child." Blackwell laughed. "My problem is that you both ruined my life. I was supposed to have Sterling Industries. It should have been mine. And you," he pointed at Marcus, "you stopped my plan. So yes, I'll do whatever it takes to make you both suffer." "You're confessing to conspiracy and terroristic threats," Victoria said. "The police are recording every word." Blackwell's smile faded. He looked around and saw the officers moving closer. His face twisted with rage. "You think this is over? You think prison will stop me? I have people everywhere. That little girl will never be safe." Marcus stood up, his voice deadly quiet. "If you touch my daughter, if you even look at her wrong, there is nowhere you can hide. I will find you. I will make sure you pay for every tear she's cried because of you. Do you understand me?" For the first time, Blackwell looked uncertain. He saw something in Marcus's eyes that frightened him, the absolute certainty of a father who would burn the world down to protect his child. The police arrested Blackwell on the spot. This time, there would be no bail, no delays. The recorded confession sealed his fate. The trial lasted 3 months. Marcus and Victoria testified about the shooting, the threats, and Blackwell's confession. The jury deliberated for only 2 hours before finding him guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. When the verdict was read, Marcus felt a weight lift from his shoulders that he had been carrying for almost a year. Lily was safe. They could finally breathe again. That night, they celebrated at their favorite restaurant. Lily wore a new dress that Victoria had bought her, and she couldn't stop smiling. Marcus watched his daughter laugh and joke with Victoria, and he felt something he hadn't felt since Sarah died. Joy. Pure, uncomplicated joy. After dinner, they walked through the park. The spring air was warm, and flowers bloomed everywhere. Lily ran ahead, chasing fireflies, while Marcus and Victoria walked slowly behind. "I've been thinking," Victoria said quietly. "About the future." "What about it?" "I've spent the last year getting to know you and Lily. You've become the most important people in my life. I know I can never replace Sarah, and I would never try, but I want to be part of your family. If you'll have me." Marcus stopped walking. "Victoria, what are you saying?" She took his hand, her voice trembling. "I'm saying I love you. I'm saying I love Lily. I'm saying that somewhere between that bullet and today, I fell completely in love with both of you. You taught me what it means to be brave, to sacrifice, to love without conditions. You made me human again." Marcus felt tears on his face. "I love you too. I think I have for a while now. But I was scared. Scared of forgetting Sarah, scared of moving forward, scared of being happy again. Sarah would want you to be happy. I know. And I think she would have loved you." Victoria pulled him close. "I don't want to rush anything. I know Lily needs time, and so do you. But I want to build a life with you both. I want to be there for school plays and skinned knees and homework struggles. I want to be family." "You already are family," Marcus said, holding her tight. Lily ran back to them, breathless and grinning. "Look what I caught." She opened her hands, and a firefly crawled across her palm, glowing softly. "Make a wish," Victoria said. Lily closed her eyes tight. When she opened them, she looked at her father and Victoria. "I wish that we could be together forever. All three of us." Marcus knelt down and hugged his daughter. "That's a good wish, sweetheart. That's a very good wish." 2 years later, Marcus stood in the garden behind Stirling Tower. It had been transformed into a beautiful venue, with flowers and white chairs arranged in neat rows. Today was the grand opening of the Sarah Webb Community Center, the flagship location for the foundation that now helped thousands of families across the country. But it was also something more personal. Today, Marcus Webb was marrying Victoria Sterling. The ceremony was small, just close friends and family. Lily stood beside her father, wearing a flower crown and holding the rings. At 8 years old, she was growing tall and confident, with her mother's smile and her father's kind eyes. Victoria walked down the aisle alone, choosing to honor her independence even as she joined her life with Marcus's. She wore a simple white dress and carried wildflowers, and Marcus thought she had never looked more beautiful. The judge who married them was the same one who had sentenced Blackwell. It seemed fitting somehow, having joy and justice witnessed by the same person. "Do you, Marcus Webb, take Victoria Sterling to be your wife?" "I do," Marcus said, his voice strong and clear. "Do you, Victoria Sterling, take Marcus Webb to be your husband?" "I do," Victoria said, tears streaming down her face. "Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife." They kissed while everyone cheered. Lily jumped up and down, clapping wildly. When they pulled apart, Victoria knelt down and opened her arms. Lily ran into them, and Victoria held her tight. "Can I call you Mom now?" Lily whispered. Victoria's voice broke. "I would love that more than anything in the world." The celebration lasted into the evening. People from all walks of life came together to celebrate not just a wedding but a testament to the power of sacrifice, courage, and love. Former recipients of the foundation told their stories, talking about how the help they received had changed their lives. Marcus gave a speech, standing with Victoria and Lily beside him. 3 years ago, I was broken. I had lost my wife, I was drowning in debt, and I couldn't see a way forward. The only thing keeping me going was this little girl right here. He put his hand on Lily's shoulder. She needed me, so I kept fighting. Then one day, I made a choice. I stepped in front of a bullet for a woman I didn't know. I didn't think about it. I just acted. And that choice changed everything. Victoria could have forgotten about me after I healed. She could have sent a check and moved on with her life. Instead, she opened her heart. She took care of my daughter when I couldn't. She gave us hope when we had none. She showed us that walls built from pain can be torn down by love. Together, we built something bigger than ourselves. The Sarah Webb Foundation exists because two broken people found each other and decided to heal together. It exists because we believe that everyone deserves a chance, that circumstances don't define worth, and that small acts of courage can change the world. Today, I marry the woman who saved me just as surely as I saved her. I promise to love her, to stand beside her, to be the partner she deserves. And together, we'll keep building, keep helping, keep showing people that hope is real. There wasn't a dry eye in the garden. That night, after the guests left and Lily was tucked into bed in their new home, Marcus and Victoria stood on their balcony, looking at the city lights just like they had done so many times before. "Do you ever think about that day?" Victoria asked. "The day you took the bullet?" "Every day," Marcus admitted. "But not with regret. With gratitude." "Gratitude? You almost died." "But I didn't. And because I made that choice, I found you. Lily found you. We built a family from tragedy. We created something beautiful from something terrible. How can I regret that?" Victoria leaned against him. "I used to think strength meant never needing anyone. My father taught me that. He said emotions were weakness, that love made you vulnerable. I believed him for so long. What changed? You. You showed me that real strength is choosing love even when it's hard. It's sacrificing for others even when you have nothing to give. It's opening your heart even when it's been broken. You're the strongest person I've ever met, Marcus." He kissed her forehead. "We're strong together." "Yes. Together." Marcus Webb sat in the audience of the community center, watching his daughter Lily perform in the annual talent show. At 13, she had grown into a confident, compassionate young woman who volunteered at the foundation and dreamed of becoming a doctor. Beside him sat Victoria, now 8 months pregnant with their son. They had named him Samuel, after Marcus's father, and everyone was anxiously awaiting his arrival. On Marcus's other side sat 8-year-old twins, Jake and Emma, whom they had adopted 2 years ago from a family helped by the foundation. The children had been living in their car when Victoria met them. Now they were healthy, happy, and loved. Marcus looked at his family, this beautiful patchwork of people brought together by choice and love, and felt overwhelming gratitude. The bullet that almost killed him had instead given him life, real life, full and rich and meaningful. After the show, they all went out for ice cream. Lily talked excitedly about her performance, the twins argued about whose turn it was to pick the movie for family night, and Victoria laughed at their antics, one hand on her swollen belly. "What are you thinking about?" Victoria asked Marcus softly. "I'm thinking that Sarah would be so proud. Of Lily, of us, of everything we've built. I'm thinking that pain doesn't have to be the end of the story. It can be the beginning of something better. She'd be proud of you most of all. You took a broken world and made it beautiful." Marcus shook his head. "We did that. Together." Later that night, Marcus tucked the twins into bed, then checked on Lily, who was reading under her covers with a flashlight.